Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Well, let's keep going. Actually, this part I like this part. This part was really interesting because could you get so it was entrepreneurs are
Mm,
risk tolerant, but they are not risk seekers. So that was really good. So they are risk tolerant
mm,
but not risk seekers. Okay, so that is really interesting. Yes. Yeah.
mm,
Can you explain this? Can you tell me what you got?
mm. I think yeah. I I I I I catch up the words he explain about that word that the the entrepreneur they take risk and manage it.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same meaning with that words, but it really hard to remember to
Yeah.
me.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, very good. Okay, so just let me talk about the phrase because you said I catch up. So first of all, we don't use this way because if you mean you didn't understand, you shouldn't.
yeah,
You should say I didn't catch up. No, just catch.
yeah,
I didn't catch. So all the
yeah,
words you use. Okay, so are caught. If you want to use past form
yeah,
caught. If
yeah,
negative, I didn't catch. So up is extra here. We don't need it because it changes the meaning. Okay. Catch
yeah,
something means to understand something. Yeah, it was good.
yeah.
But about these two, let's talk about it because these two words are really good phrases. Risk to actually, they are risk tolerant, but they are not risk seeker. What is this? It means, uh, actually, if they see themselves, okay, at risk, dangerous situation, or maybe risky situation, they try to reduce it, okay, but they tolerate. So they wait for it, they try to resolve, but they
Mm,
don't create it. So you know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? So they don't want to actually create that situation. They don't want to take that risk. They
mm,
try to actually try not to take risk. But if it happens, of course, they're tolerant. So
mm,
try
mm.
to manage it maybe. So what is the
Yeah.
meaning of being tolerant? Try to actually not to take risk, but
Mm,
manage it. Okay.
mm,
Well,
mm.
and so this part was good. So we have two good phrases here. The first one, as I told you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned that when I use I can it or I catch them. That means I can understand
Of course,
them, right?
we use it. Of course, we
And
use it.
it's similar. It in the same way. If in that situation I can say I see. That means I understand.
I see.
Is it?
So
Yeah.
okay.
It's
So
the same. It's the same.
yes, I see and I catch, I understand. And
Mm.
of course, we have different words. So, for example, I got your point. So, different words and phrases, not only these
Yeah.
phrases, but actually,
Yeah.
there are some like I see, and normally people use it like I understand. I catch, I understand that, for example, we normally use it this way. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch. So,
Yeah.
understand is good, okay, but they're the same.
Yeah.
You can use third of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Mm,
Just
mm.
well, and I get it. Get it. For example, I
Yeah.
see, I get it. Again, understand. So we
Mhm.
normally, why not?
Mm.
We normally use it. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so for example, if you want to use third of them, you can say, I see, I get it, I understand. Even you can use third of them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And so the meaning of risk tolerant, as we just mentioned,
Yeah.
someone who is quite comfortable with a situation with risk, okay? Actually,
Mm.
they don't react strongly. Okay,
Mm,
they accept risk as a normal part of their business. Risk is a normal
mm,
part of our business. This is risk tolerant. But
mm,
risk seeker, okay, it's like, risk taking. So seeker means taker. They are not risk
mm.
takers. So,
Yeah.
or
Mm.
risk lovers. Some people
Yeah.
actually actively seek out high risk. Like, they
Mm,
follow, they try to take risk, but they are not. They
mm,
try to accept it as a normal part of their business. Well,
mm.
the next part, okay, the next question. So how do control and optimism relate to being an entrepreneur? Let's watch this part. Okay.
This question of risk taking and risk management, it is often said that entrepreneurs like control. And there's certainly a notion that entrepreneurs are willing to take control of a situation, take control of their destiny. And so we do find that entrepreneurship is associated with sort of this willingness and interest to control things. I would say there are two more characteristics that are really important. One is entrepreneurs tend to be optimists. It comes hand in hand with the control issue, but they're optimists because they're not on. It's not, I would say that entrepreneurs are optimistic, definitely, but it's really that the optimists choose to become entrepreneurs more than it's inherently entrepreneurs who are optimistic. It is when you become very optimistic about a certain opportunity that you jump into it and decide to take the entrepreneurial leap.
So, two, okay, so tell me what he mentioned right now.
Mm, he mentioned
You
about
could, yeah,
the the attitude, optimist attitude when entrepreneur face to the challenge or face to the difficult
yeah.
situation.
Yeah, definitely. Like, first controlling, as we just heard,
Yeah.
so controlling a
Yeah.
situation. This is a characteristic, okay, a
Yeah.
common typical characteristic of entrepreneurs. The second one, optimism, as you just
Mm.
mentioned, yes. So controlling a situation and optimism, both of them are
Yeah.
characteristics, typical characteristic of entrepreneurs. Okay,
Yeah.
and the last question, how does the work of an entrepreneur compare with someone who works for a company? Let's watch the last part.
Maybe the
Mm.
most important characteristic, however, is entrepreneurs are hardworking. We now have objective data on this. The hours of work put in by entrepreneurs are much higher than the hours of work of employed people. Um, and in fact, entrepreneurs that have a corporation, not just the self employed, but the ones who hire other people, tend to work the longest hours. So, the one thing I would say that is definitely about true entrepreneurs is they work very hard.
So,
They they work very hard.
very good. They work very hard and for long hours, of course. Very good. Well, actually, we can do something now. Oh, what was that? Okay. Okay. Let's do something. Now, if I ask, can you summarize the main
Mm.
points that you could catch from the video?
Mm. Yeah, from video, I we can see that he mentioned and he illustrates about the characteristic of entrepreneur. And the first thing he mentioned that it had to define the type of person who make a good entrepreneur. And she uh, and he said about he took he talked about the people who become from entrepreneur from mm, uh, vi- uh, from uh, diversifies background and gender and ethnicity and the entrepreneur who uh, who can take risk and manage them, and very optimistic when they face the challenge, and control it. And the last thing he mentioned, that the entrepreneur who welcome to hardworking, and had to who who willing to hard work in a long hours.
Yeah, very good. Of course, very good. Well, so thank you for your answer. Just let me discuss a few just words and phrases that you use. Illustrate is good word. Illustrate is really good word, but not here. This is conversation. So if you want to
Yeah.
have a better one, say discuss.
Mm.
He discussed the characteristic of an this
Uh-huh.
word is
Yeah.
entrepreneur, not inter. That is entrepreneur. So
Yeah. Mm.
discuss is really good word. You can use it. So illustrate is good, but not here. This is conversation, so it's better to change it. Okay. And you said the first
Yeah, I
one.
have a question.
Sure.
I have because that mean it's a true flow. That mean people who work, who talk, and someone who reacts, and
No,
yeah,
not only, it's not a conversation. When you discuss something, you talk about
uh,
it. You
yeah,
illustrate it, you talk about it. So this is the meaning of,
yeah,
because you said he mentioned and illustrate. Exactly
yeah,
what you mean is that he discussed, he talked about it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
maybe I discuss something, but you don't react. So it's not a
Yeah.
discussion. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that is discussion is something different. Yeah, we can have a
Yes.
discussion, we can have this conversation, but maybe I
Yeah.
want to discuss something and you'd only listen to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and you said the first thing he mentioned that it has to define the type of person who makes a good entrepreneur. Okay. The first point is better. The first thing, the first point he made,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah. Yeah.
say the first point he made,
Yeah.
the first thing he mentioned, okay, the
Yeah.
first point he made, okay, was that it's important to define the type of person who makes a good
Yeah.
entrepreneur. Actually, because when you break your sentence into two parts, okay, actually it lacks clarity, so it's not clear. So much better
Yeah.
to, yeah, make, yeah, actually a whole one
Can
sentence, yes.
can I use collocation to
Yeah, of course.
buy about
Perfect.
collocation?
Of course,
Yeah.
why not? So
Yeah.
you can use
Yeah.
good collocation. Actually, it's really good. But let me say something about collocations. They're really good, but when it comes to advanced language, what is that? For example, when speaking for IELTS test, perfect. Because
Yeah.
normally I use a difficult advanced word or phrase, then I give a better synonym, more understandable.
Yeah.
So I use collocations here. When speaking, of course, you can use, as I told you, but it's like when you're talking, straight conversation and straight language is different. The
Yeah.
easiest style, and normally we use idioms, slang, some idiomatic phrases. For example, when I say discuss, discuss is idiomatic phrase. So a word, I can use it. So
Mm.
this way, but of course, using collocations is really good, make it clear. And
Yeah.
you said he talked about the people who become entrepreneur from, you said
Yeah.
diversified background. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So let's make it a little maybe because become entrepreneur is good. He talked about people who become entrepreneurs
Mm.
from, okay, you can use here diverse background. This one is
Uh-huh.
perfect.
Mm.
Different. Okay, so this one is better. Well,
Yeah.
and genders, for example, diverse background, genders, and ethnicities make it plural. Ethnicities is
Yeah.
better, make it because when you say become, of course, become and I heard entrepreneur. Neil, I heard something like this. I'm not sure about that because of this entrepreneur. Actually, and diversified is not good here. So just
Mm,
diverse background is good and it's
mm,
clear. Of course, background, genders, and ethnicities. This is really good. And
yeah,
entrepreneur, you said entrepreneur is someone who takes risk and manage. So this is
yeah.
good. Okay, when facing challenge, yes, okay. That was really good. Entrepreneurs should be able to take risk, manage them,
Mm,
and remain optimistic when facing challenges. So
mm,
remain optimistic when facing challenges. Just let me put this here so you can read it better.
mm,
This one is better.
mm,
This one
yeah,
is better. Okay. Well, and that's it. So just I corrected a few words that I heard, and that was totally, it was really good. Okay, just a few maybe words and phrases should be changed. Okay.
yeah,
Well, and now let's see. So we have some phrase and words here. We talked about all them.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. So we know the meaning of this. Now, look at the list of possible sources of finance 1 to 9 and watch the second part of Thomas Hellman interview again. Tick the frames of financing he's positive about and put a cross next to those he's negative about and put a question mark
yeah.
next to those who doesn't mention, okay, or doesn't comment on. So do you remember or you need to watch the second part again?
Mm, yeah, I see. When he talk about the way of financing new business in talk with your bank manager, right?
No, I'm not sure about bank man. I heard equity. I heard
Yeah, debt,
yeah, loan.
equity, yeah, loan and rent, grant,
Yeah, of
and
course.
angel investor.
No, no, I didn't. No, no, I'm not sure about
Yeah,
angel
mm,
investors. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm
yeah,
wrong. I'm not sure about it, but I don't remember. So
yeah,
why not? This is the second part. Let's watch it. It's a good video. So let's watch it together. Let's see what he mentions, what not. Okay,
yeah.
so let me share it again. Part two.
I think it's maybe in the part four.
So
Part two. No, yeah, it's
Oh,
set part two.
yeah,
at every
yeah,
at some point in time, almost every entrepreneur faces the question of how do I finance this? This is bigger than what I can just finance with my
yeah,
own resources. So where do you get the money from? People can get very confused about that. And some people's gut reaction is, well, I just got to talk to my bank manager. Well, hello, this is the 21st century. We don't have
my
bank
bank
managers.
manager.
You just try to go online somewhere for the bank today. So no, the answer is most probably not your bank manager.
Not.
There is a whole ecosystem of investors out there, however, and there is no simple answer as to where you should get your money from because it depends on the type of business and, very importantly, on how far along you are with your business. First distinction every entrepreneur should make: do I want debt or do I want equity? Debt sounds great because all you have to do is pay back, but actually that's very difficult in a startup because you're typically not generating cash for a long time. And that's one of the many reasons why equity is actually often the right answer. You can get some debt from credit cards, but be careful. That can get very expensive very quickly. And so I tend to recommend not to use credit cards, except for transactional purposes, but not as a tool for getting investments. Occasionally, you're lucky you can get loans or there's certain grants. Beautiful if you can get them. But the majority of entrepreneurs at some point have to get some kind of equity financing. People then think, oh, let's go and talk to a venture capitalist. Well, it needs a lot of work and it needs a lot of preparation before you're ready to go to venture capital. And increasingly, you're going to be looking at angel investors and, in the modern world, crowdfunding. And so those are there's equity crowdfunding, there's also project crowdfunding or donation-based crowdfunding. But these are relatively new tools that are becoming more and more popular for entrepreneurs. Each of them is a strategic decision because it's not just money. Money comes with.
Well, so as you heard, yeah. So about yeah, your bank manager? No, it's not. Okay, so he was not positive. Debt?
Yeah. Mm, Debt, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's positive or
Was
negative.
not positive. Definitely was not positive about it. Equity?
Yeah,
Equity?
a positive. Positive.
Yes, of course. And the next one, let me share the book again.
Credit card, post a negative,
Yeah, of course.
and then loan and grant positive.
Yeah, very good. About angel investors, he mentioned, but no comments on it. Nothing. Just just he
Yeah,
mentioned. Yeah, of course. And
yeah,
crowdfunding, he was positive, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Family and friends.
I don't.
No, no comment actually.
He not mentioned. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
there was no comment on family and friends. Of course, it's yeah. Just
Yeah,
maybe he was positive towards equity and loan and
and
grants, and of course crowdfunding, and about
yeah,
debt, your bank manager, and like venture capitalist. So negative, totally negative.
yeah.
Okay, well, so. We watched this video. Let's skip the sport for now since we have no time to discuss it. Okay, more. So that's it. Do you have any questions?
No, yeah, I have no question right now.
Well, so have a great working day and
Yeah,
see you.
yeah. Thank you.
You're
See you
welcome.
on Wednesdays.
Of course. Goodbye. Bye.
Yeah, goodbye. Yeah.